And that lasts forever because you never forget it.
Mhm.
You never forget it.
Yeah. So my thing is, okay, there are potential customers. We want to identify them, bring them in here, and then we want to turn them into clients. And then we want to service them and then turn them into advocates. And so y'all gonna be advocates. Y'all gonna walk out of here, call somebody or post a picture
Absolutely.
and say, hey man, I went to the studio Patchwerk. This shit ain't nothing like nothing if you work.
Yep.
And that's the cycle.
Yep.
Right? That's
Yep.
what we want to do.
Yep.
We want you guys to be advocates because me bragging about the studio sound like I'm just talking about my own kid.
Right.
Somebody else talking about their experiences and what it did and the plaques on the wall validates it. Yeah, I don't need to.
Totally different.
I want y'all to go out and say, man, dude was cool. You know what I mean? And he's the actual owner. And he did this and he did that.
Yeah. All right. So coming from Jersey, I heard about Patchwerk when I was leaving Jersey in '98. And I think Outkast was talking about it in the interview. But I
I
only
was in that
thought,
documentary.
yeah, I only thought Patchwerk was about hip hop artists. But you guys have seen all forms of music come through here.
Mm-hmm.
What's the key to longevity in music industry for you?
Being humble, no better than, no worse than, not overstating your capabilities and telling people when they ask you something, being honest. Like I'll tell people a lot, we could do that, but we don't do it.
Mhm.
And like I said, we list a list of services that we provide. And if we say we offer a service, we think we in the top 5 that offer that service. And just being consistent and maintaining, making sure everything works, making sure you don't see a light bulb out, right? If you go in the bathroom and hit the soap dispenser, soap need to come out.
Mhm.
If you go in there and got to pull some toilet paper, it needs to come out. If you hit the water machine, it needs to work, right? If you pull in the back gate, the gate shouldn't be broke.
Right.
So we want everything to work, and all those little things just add up. And being fair. I'll be so surprised that new studios open up and they charge more than us. And I'd be like, I know what we spent and I know what we worth. And y'all charging this amount of money.
Right.
And it's like you might get a person, but they ain't gonna come back because they felt like you took advantage of them. So we kind of hit in a place where, people feel like they're getting a good value for their money. And we want to over deliver with our services and stuff like that.
Definitely. That's great, man. To piggyback on that last question, seeing all artists come through, legends, some of them just teeny boppers, some last a week, a month, a year. What's the difference in longevity between a long lasting artist and a trending?
Work.
Just
I mean,
work.
like I say, y'all did some B-roll. But what you need to look at when you're looking at the B-roll, look to see if it's that artist's first album. Now we probably got 2 or 3 of them because they do multiple albums here. But if we did that first album, nobody knew who they were before we didn't know that they was a star before they came in here, but we gave them the star treatment.
Right.
And we worked on their project like millions of people are going to hear this. But the consistent theme is they asses was in the studio. I mean, you would have to put them out. They wouldn't coming in here doing 2 hours and 4 hours and leaving and running up out of here. They was in the studio for 12 to 16 hours a day, 6 days a week, unless they was on the road. And if they went to the club, they booked the studio from 6 to 4 or 5 in the morning. They would leave at midnight, go to the club, catch the vibe, bring the vibe back to the studio and make that record.
Right.
So the difference is the work ethic and then the team behind them. Like I always tell people, my indicator of if a new artist is going to do well is when I'm dealing with the admin. So I'll give you an example. If it's an up and coming artist and it's hard for me to get a purchase order, I'll be like, hey. And then if they ask for a food budget and they would be like, no, I'll be like, they ain't really supporting them. Then we do the session, we send the bill in and they don't pay me for 2 or 3 months. I'll be like, when we did Beyonce, man, they was harassing me for the bill. We wasn't even done. Not only did they pay it, they FedExed me the check the next day. We finished in the morning. They called me for the bill. I sent them the bill. The next day, it was FedExed. That indicates to me that they taking care of everything. So now the engineers that work on her project are paid. They're not mad. The DJs are paid. The street team is probably paid. The radio team is paid. Her manager is paid. The studio paid. We all got good vibes about her. We happy. We want to celebrate. That new rapper, man, the studio ain't got paid for 45 days. The engineer ain't got paid. The producer arguing about his credits. It doesn't really give it a fair opportunity to be successful. So from the artist end, what I see is hard work, spending time in the studio, not coming to the studio by themselves and working in a silo, bringing other people to the studio so that they can critique their shit and tell their homeboys that shit is whack.
Mm-hmm.
And then from the label, how they support it is a good indicator of whether or not it's going to work or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still. So being that me and Hustle got a project built before the algorithm, that's the thing, right? I want to ask you, what does that phrase mean to you, built before the algorithm? Because when we think of studios, we think of Patchwerk. So what does that mean to you, built before the algorithm?
Well, it seems it would mean that it's a group or artist or a project that was designed on some principles before the algorithm came in place. That they just like, hey, we're going back to the basics. We're going to get good production, good rhymes, good concepts, good metaphors, sonically make sure that it's straight. And then that's what we're going to be marketing. We're not doing any gimmicks for an algorithm. We're just creating, making music. And, that's what it means to me. That's what it would mean to me is that, okay, somebody that they're not really, because it's people that seem like they making songs trying to get in the algorithm. Mm-hmm. And the algorithm changes. So if you made a song to get in the algorithm today, I ain't going to be listening to that in 2 weeks or whatever. So it seems like it would be a timeless project that would work before and after what they consider the algorithm.